Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the session. All those people who attended session 1 of this webinar, we have received your feedback, and also there are some suggestions and some constructive feedback that we have looked at. So I will like to start with that. There are some people, like I had explained in the first webinar, people are asking for certificates. Please go on to the website that we have created, and go through the flow of what is required for you to get certified. So once you follow the steps, once you have trained the 40 children in your class, and you submit your Google form, you will be getting the certification from us. So I think we have to understand that there are loads and loads of people who are doing it. We've already crossed the 30,000 mark, like I told you day before yesterday, of people who have been certified in this program. And we are looking forward that you will also be doing that in the near future. Please make sure that you are reading the resources, you are looking at the links that we are sharing with you. As I speak, I will request Manu, who is at the YouTube link right now, to put in the link again for the website, and you people should be going with that link along with me as I conduct today's session. I had told you about the Be Internet Awesome curriculum. I spoke to you about the support group that you have here at Mahattattva to help you with the entire program implementation. And I had also introduced you to the team which is looking after just your support. So having said that, I will now share my screen for today's session, and Kajal is helping me with that. So I'm going to start with sharing the curriculum booklet, and I want you to open this booklet up in your own systems. So how do you do that? We have given you this link. Manu would have posted this link just now. We also gave you this link on Wednesday when we met for webinar 1. So if you open up the website that has been created for this particular program, you go on to resources, and in resources you will be able to see it as the second link. So when you click on this page will open up, and it has 139 pages, and the entire curriculum is there. So I want you to have this page open, this tab open as I speak, because I will be going through this booklet today to help you understand the curriculum and what needs to be done from your side, so that the children also understand the program. We were talking about the 5 modules. There are 5 units to this entire thing. So the 5 units, as you can see, are share with care, don't fall for fake, and the system is just loading up, secure your secrets, it's cool to be kind, and when in doubt, talk it out. So these are the 5 units that you have to make sure that you are absolutely in sync with before you stand in front of your children and you get them to understand all of this. We spoke about the 5 keywords towards the end of last session. We spoke about how the children need to be smart, they need to be alert, they need to be strong, kind, and brave. These are the 5 keywords which are the ethos behind the entire curriculum, and each one of them are related to the unit that we are talking about, the 5 units that we are talking about. The first unit, of course, is Be Internet Smart, and I am going on to the booklet for this. Before I start on unit 1, I want you to open this up, just the PDF that is loaded up for you, and you can see the 5 keywords come up. And it starts with an introduction to the program. It speaks about the 5 units that you need to do, and it tells you that this curriculum has been created for grade 2 to 6. Now, what we have seen is we have implemented this from grade 1 up till grade 12 with using the same principles but changing the scenarios. So whatever scenarios you find in the booklet, which is the Be Internet Awesome curriculum, once you see this, you will be able to adapt according to the children, because nobody knows your children better than you. So have a look at the scenarios, read the scenarios, and you will be able to gauge which scenario is the one which I can use for my children. So when you look at the scenarios as we go through these 139 pages just now, you will be able to see that, yes, this is what my children can do, or I can do this activity and I can make it slightly higher, or take it slightly lower, so that my children understand what I'm talking about. Like I told you, this entire program has the seal of alignment from ISTE, that is the International Society for Technology in Education, and this says that it is aligned to the standards for technology integration. So this is something huge. This also tells you that the program that you are going to implement into your school is something which is internationally endorsed. So when you look at this program, you will realize whether you are a maths teacher or an English teacher or a science teacher, you could be even a PE teacher, art, or a music teacher. If you want to do this with your children, you are absolutely, you are going to love this, because this talks about how a child should protect himself or herself when they are online. It has got nothing to do with how you are looking for maths things or for sports thing. It doesn't matter. You have to be open to this entire phenomena of the fact that our children are coming online and they are playing, researching, reading online more than ever. So when you understand that the children have access to devices, they are going on their mother's mobile phones or father's mobile phones, or they are working on a desktop at home, and they are looking for researching for their own facts and features for their research books or their research notes, they should know what is expected of them. This is a curriculum which empowers the children to understand that if you are going online, this is what you need to do. And in today's world, as an educator of this era and this age, you also have to understand that this is something that all teachers need to do. They need to make their children aware of the internet, how they can best use the internet for their teaching and learning, and be absolutely confident when they are going online. So as you can see, I'm moving up the pages, and you can do that as I go. You can do that with your own booklet, ebook as well. You can see the first unit comes up, which is share with care. Then we have don't fall for fake, secure your secrets, it's cool to be kind, and when in doubt, talk it out. We will look at all these units one by one. I am scrolling down. If you do not have multiple tab sort of a device, if you are looking at this on a phone, that's okay as well. Just keep scrolling the pages as you're going. I'm on page number 4 right now. It is explaining you how you have to use this book when you are working with the children unit by unit. So each of the 5 units that you have, you can see that these symbols are coming up here, where it says, it will show you that this is for grade 2 to 6, this is for grade 2 to 3, this is for grade 4 to 6. It will specify it. And like I said, there is no harm in making our children beyond 2 and beyond 6, beyond that range, also aware of this program. And we have done it in class 11th and 12th in a lot of schools. Now, what schools have also done is they've got the older children to understand this program, and they have taught the younger ones as well. So you can do a cross phase sort of a leadership opportunity for your older children, where they get prepared and they teach the younger ones. So the idea, of course, is to make sure that this program runs in your school and it stays in your school. It is something which is sustainable, because this program in your school might change its face, but the basic ethics, the basic rules and regulations will stay the same. So my suggestion is, and a lot of schools have done it, they have embraced this curriculum and said, ma'am, we are going to do it around the year. So if you think that this is something which you want to do, please empower not only yourself but your colleagues as well in this program. And you will see that it is something that you can relate to. It has media literacy, where it has media literacy instances, or SEL. This SEL acronym is very popular, especially post-pandemic, where it talks about the social emotional learning of the children. So wherever this social emotional learning thing comes up, there will be a little stamp there which tells you that this phase of the curriculum deals with that. Now, in the fourth and the fifth unit, where it talks about kindness, empathy, bullying, it talks about holding on to an adult and getting them to understand you are not a coward if you get an adult involved in your situation. All these things deal with SEL, so it will be marked there where it says that it is social emotional learning. So if I go forward, it will tell you what are the various things that are integrated in the curriculum. So the introduction is still on page number 5. Page number 6 has some handouts. You can create a bingo game with the children for vocabulary. So the template is given to you. There is a big template which is 5 by 5 and a smaller one 3 by 3. You can use the any of these if you so desire. So the bingo cards templates are there. There is also a word web if you're playing the vocabulary game with the children and you don't have the online facility. Like yesterday, we day before yesterday, we saw some of the games wherein you could actually go and you could online use the peer deck and get the children to interact with the vocabulary words. But if you don't have that, this photocopy will work as well. So you can write the word in the middle. If I can just make it smaller to make you see the entire page, you can write here in the middle whatever vocabulary, and you can get the children to write the definition, the characteristics, examples of that word, and non-example. What is this word not like? So you can do all of this very similar to the Freya model that we do. So that is integrated as well. There is a template which you can photocopy. As regarding the photocopying of these pages, this is made for education. It is made for schools. So there is no limit for you to photocopy it, print it, use it in your schools with the children. There is no penalty for that. Only thing is that you can't use it for profit. So if you're using it in the school as a free program, as an awareness program, you can photocopy all of this and use it with the children. Page number 9 has a beautifully drafted letter or an email. It depends upon how you want to send it. If you want to send it to your school database by mail, you can do that. Or if you want to send a printout, you can do that as well. I would suggest send it as an email because that will save paper. If you have children who do not have access to emails, then you can print it out and send it to them. So this is a letter which has been framed in the curriculum, wherein you can you read this, adapt it, customize it to your school, and send it to your parents. So your parents know you are starting a program in school which is called Be Internet Awesome. You are going to make the children aware. So what is the why are we doing this? Why are we partnering with the parents? So there is a little write-up for that. What are the 5 units? That's there. And it tells you that this is where the children will be, educated on the nuances of cybersecurity, and we are partnering with you, and we are partnering with Google to do this, and you can send this home. So gives you a lot of leverage with the parent community as well, that the school is doing something which is so important in today's world. So from page number 10 onwards are a few frequently asked questions which you would have for the program. You can go on there and check those. So that is where the first prelim pages finish, and we start with unit 1. So in unit 1, you will see that the entire flow, please notice the flow of this booklet. You will see that it follows a pattern wherein it gives you the overview, it gives you the theme. What are the themes that are integrated in this unit? It tells you about the goals. So these 4 goals are something that you have to work for. Excuse me. These 4 goals are something that you should work for with your children, and the children also should be aware of these goals. It's always nicer for the children to be aware of what are they doing in the class, and why are we doing it. So this this set of 4 goals should be shared with them. The standards are something that you shouldn't worry about, because we do not follow any standards in our curriculum, but the International Society for Technology in Education Standards for Educators, it is enumerated that these are the standards that we are aligned with, and these are what are getting done for educators, for students. So all these are enumerated there. You can ignore this completely, because this is something that we do not follow. So we do not follow in our schools, right? We follow the CBSE norms. There is a program by CBSE as well, and this program, of course, should take center stage, because it's easy to do and easy to implement, and you will be able to do this very quickly, the 5 units that we are talking about. So it tells you about the various lessons in this unit. It will tell you what are the the vocabulary words, what are we going to do. So all that is outlined here in the vocabulary page. So you see here, lesson 1 has started, and it tells you the age group for this. And like I said, you can adapt and go ahead with the age groups. It tells you about the lesson. It spells out exactly what you should do in this lesson. It gives you there were 4 goals for the unit, but what are the goals for this particular unit? It tells you this particular lesson. It gives you those 2 goals. Then, how do you start this conversation in your class? How do you get the children to communicate and talk about it? You can take ideas from here. So even the communication and the way that you have to implement the topic in this classroom is given to you in these little notes. Now, if you really look at it, the entire program, you will see each theme starts with something which is very face-to-face, very up close and personal, and then slowly and gradually it moves towards the cyberspace. So that is the thing that they will follow. So there is a conversation which will happen. You will get the children to make up a secret, and then you'll tell your friend. How will you feel if your friend tells the secret? So all these scenarios are given to you. You just have to go with the flow. Once the lesson, so there are 5 units, and each unit has a few lessons. Each lesson has a takeaway. So once you read this takeaway, you will be able to understand and reaffirm that these are the things that the children should know by the end of this lesson. So once you've done that, please go through this and ask the children various questions to test their knowledge as well. So this is lesson 1. Then you have lesson 2. Let's keep it private. And here I'm going to go and show you some of the activities which come up. So here in this lesson, there are 5 scenarios. So what you can do is you can split the class into 5 groups, and you can photocopy these scenarios, and you can give one scenario to a group of children and let them talk about it, and then you eventually present. The children get together and they present what they think is the solution to this problem that is being faced. So there are different scenarios here. You can enact those. You can get the children to do that. And then you have for your password, for you can see there is a information that is being put on online. The children are given exposure to case studies. Now your friend has announced publicly that they are going away. So is that a good thing to do? Should they say where they live and where they are going away? So they will also ask you to give you instances where you talk about you must have heard about 2-3 years back, or maybe more, before the pandemic, that there was this person in Gurgaon. I know of the story because I live here and I know it happened in one of the colonies here, where a person wrote on Facebook that he's going to Vaishno Devi, and somebody asked him online, so are you going alone, or Auntie G is going as well? And he wrote that no, the whole family is going. So within 2 days, his entire house was cleaned up because his page was open, his stream thread was open, and people could see it on social media, and they knew that the house was empty. So these kind of things you can talk about with your children, give them scenarios and ask them what went wrong there, what would have happened, what could have been avoided. So when they talk about these scenarios, and I'm talking to you from experience, that when you get this started in the school or in the classroom, you will see that the children very quickly go on to their own scenarios. So you will be surprised that most of the children would have gone through some of these scenarios that you're talking about. And very soon, these scenarios that you're using from this curriculum, because this is something, some of the cases here might be something that your children can't relate to. Very soon you will see that they're getting their own scenarios in, and that becomes the class discussion. So this is a good starting point for you. And then let it get swayed by what the children are talking. So they will say, my mother had this message on her phone, and she clicked on it, and all her information went away. In a session very recently, we heard that somebody got a link for a medical policy renewal, and when they clicked on it, all details were asked, and this person thought, it's a convenient way of doing it, because then you don't have to go to the office, or you don't need to call anybody. Let me do it on my own. And a lot of money in the premium went away. So it didn't even stop at that, because the bank details were stored by this person who was had a fake sort of a setup wherein they were asking for information. The policy did not apply. They were because the website was fake. The company policy, of course, was redundant, and this person actually got not only loss of that particular premium, but also a few transactions later as well. And that's when she realized that this was something which was wrong, which was going on. So we have to be very careful with what we are telling the children, because we will start with something, and they will start talking about their own experiences. So you can get the children to get comfortable with that and discuss it in a very positive way, so that they also feel that yes, this is something which can happen to everybody or anybody, and we don't have to be threatened or scared of it. We have to face it. We have to make sure that we are brave enough, we are confident enough to talk about it and find solutions for it. That's what the learner in today's world needs to be: a problem solver, a confident person who can go ahead confidently and very smartly get into the system and solve the problems. So you can see here the same flow is being maintained. The goals for this lesson, that is, that's not what I meant, comes up, and there are goals for this particular lesson. You can see this is a first unit, share with care, which is going on, but the lesson has changed. So you can choose which kind of activity you want to do with the children depending on their age. So here what you will do is, when we wear t-shirts featuring corporate logos, sports teams, schools, musicians, politicians, etc., we are essentially walking billboards. This activity demonstrates that a t-shirt is both direct communication and media at the same time, and helps students to see that screens aren't the only kind of place where media can be found. So you get them to become aware of how you can be a media billboard when you are wearing a t-shirt. So here again it will tell you about let's talk. It talks about the entire scenario. Then you can see that there are some games that you can incorporate, like a show or tell, learning about each other, posting the t-shirt. So the template of the t-shirt is given to you, and the emojis are also given. So you can get these photocopied and you can give them to the children, and they can pick and choose, and they can create their own t-shirts. So how does that? So this is for the little children. As you can see, you can do this with children from classes 2 to 6. And for the older ones, you can do the scenarios, right? So there are lots of lessons integrated in a particular unit. You can choose which one you want to do for the children. So if I show you this presentation, which we have created for the physical classroom as well, you can see here that we have certain things like what's in a frame. So we will be giving you this presentation for the children. Pardon me. You will be able to see and do these activities with the children. So we have taken the clippings from the curriculum and we put them onto the slide deck so that the children can see what we are trying to actually pinpoint and focus on. So we have taken screenshots from the curriculum and put them on our deck. So you will see things like this in the deck that we share with you. So the people who have registered for this webinar and they are part of our WhatsApp groups, our Google groups, and our Telegram groups, these the slide deck for the students will be given to you. So you see here, these activities like the frame it, I was just showing you this one here, and you can see that this has been taken out and it has been made into an activity. So you can do that as well. Either you can give it as a handout to the children to do it. So you see here in frame 1, you can see that there is a ship, looks like a pirate ship, but when you zoom out, it is actually just a bathtub and the child is standing next to it with his duck. So this is not what it actually looks like when it's close up. In the second one, it looks like a giant claw, but it's actually just a shadow of a flower. Here again, it looks as if this child is next to a tiger, but when you zoom out, it's just a glass window and the person is in no danger from the tiger. So this is something that you can do very easily with the children, and you can actually showcase this and get them to discuss and talk about it. How things which are in the picture or in social media might not be what they are trying to project or what it actually is. Then you have another activity, and in this activity there are 3 children, and it describes the children, who they are. And then as an activity, what you can do is you can change the names. You can have Indian names. You can create this entire activity on your own, where you have the various children, and based on what you see, you have to read a collection of a person's online activity below, and based on what you see, you have to write a short description of what you think the person is like, what they like, what they dislike, and what they care about the most. Now, this is an activity where you get the children to understand that this is Christy, right? and Christy has posted all of these. So what is your perception about this person? So after the children have written the perception, you read the actual description of Christy, and then you get them to understand and believe that you thought Christy was this, but actually Christy is this. So getting the children to understand about perceptions, getting them to understand that it's sometimes or most times very different. We do that, right? When we take photographs, when we are on holiday, we make sure that there are some filters on, and that is something I've also learned very recently, and it's a fun thing to do. But in a way, these are harmless things, but sometimes there are people out there who cheat you out of it. They create an environment which makes you think that this is something which is real and it's happening, but it's actually not happening. So getting the children to do this activity in a very subtle, non-tech way, you can get them to understand that these are how perceptions change. Yeah, this is a person who is posting all of this, but she's actually, or he's actually not like that. So this is a game for that. And then there are various points of views. There are group discussions, class discussions, and each one of them will tell you what to do. And finally there will be a takeaway. How do you get the children to sum up or do a plenary for this session? Different people can see the same information and draw different conclusions from it. Don't assume that people online can see you the way you think they'll see you. Now, even when you are looking at this environment, this game that we just saw, the activity that we just saw about Connor and Christy, you will see that each child will have a different perception. So because of their own thinking, because of their own ideas in their mind, they will all have a different perception of this particular child. So how does it, in a classroom of 30 people, in a classroom of 40 people, that everybody heard the same story, everybody heard the same thing, everybody had the same worksheet where a particular thing was written about this particular people, this particular person, and all of us got different ideas about how this person really is. So this is what it is about, drawing conclusion from your own perceptions. So this is, like I said, there will be instances where they will be doing physical, very authentic, real life activities, and then they take you online. So this is a very good activity for that. And then we had spoken about gamification. So this unit will end with this mindful mountain, which is about sharing with care. And you will see that the game opens up. It's called the Mindful Mountain, and if you click on play, the game will open up. And it is only very, very cleverly done, where it talks about problem solving, making the correct choices, and getting the children to understand the unit goals that you have just finished. So this could be your assessment. When you get the children to do this, when you get them to actually work on this step by step, your goals are done. So like I said before also, that this has no login. There are no login passwords for this game. The children just come on and they just start playing. Once they have achieved all the challenges according to the goals of this unit, the children will be able to get their certificates. So you can get the children to play these games after the units are done, and your assessments are done as well. So this is something which has been done very, very beautifully. And I'm just going to take you back to the curriculum. And we have with this finished unit number 1. Then you can see that unit number 1 was blue and this one is red. So it's a good demarcation when you are reading the curriculum, how it comes up. And so this is red, don't fall for fake. This is about scamming. It is about phishing, pop-ups. It's about how do you spot unworthy information online. How do you do correct internet research? And of course, the interland game for this unit is Reality River. So you get the children to play this game after this. So you will see that I'm just going to increase the size so you can see better, those of you who are following my page rather than your own PDF. So it gives you a little information about pop-ups, catfishing, and whatever is relevant to this unit. It's following the same pattern. You can see that there's an activity, and with that activity you have the takeaway, and then you have templates for phishing examples. You can get the children to see this and judge for themselves if this is real or this is fake. So you can get them to do that. Lots of examples there for you to showcase to them and ask them, why is this real if they say it is real, and why is it fake if they say it's fake? So get into this worksheet and you get them to do it. Lots of examples for you to use. Then who's this talking to me? And it is about understanding who are the people who are contacting us, and if they're contacting us, they may not be who they say they are. Be sure the person who they say they are before they reply. And like I told you, that if they are in doubt, they should disengage. That is the best strategy that you can teach your children, that if somebody is getting confrontational, if there is somebody you don't know, you have a doubt, just disengage. Don't get aggressive, don't answer, don't try to act as if you can get away with this. There are no brownie points, there are no extra marks which are being given to you or any points which are given to you to prove a point. Just be sensible, just be smart, just be brave and disengage. So keep saying that to the children, keep explaining to them that it's the teacher in the classroom, it's your parent at home who is going to help you with this situation. So be open, be confident to talk about it. So these messages should come through as you are dealing with these various scenarios. So there are some activities for that as well, some scenarios which come up, and you can do the same group discussion thing with this as well. You get a friend request from a random player in a game. Hey, you're good, we should play together, add me. So ask them, this is the scenario, what are they going to do, and what are the pros of it, what are the cons of it, and how should they react in this situation. So lots of scenarios there, 5 of them here. You can get to discuss these with your children. And then there are some scenarios with the choices given to them. So you can have that discussion in the class as well. So you can see there are some discussions for the older children, there are some discussions for the younger ones. You can choose which activity you want to do. So it moves on to, is it really true? So here it tells you about what are the various websites which can be true, which are not true. How do you make sure that this is a credible fact or a credible site? What are the various things that you can do, and how you can decide? So all those handouts are there. So this is a handout for the credible sources. So you can give these to the older children. Of course, the younger ones don't go online for researches, but the older ones do. So you can give these handouts to them. And here it talks about the game that I'm sure you remember from childhood. There are 2 games of spot the difference. So here you can see that the children, just give me a minute, please. So I'm back. So when you are talking to the children about marking the differences or spotting the differences, they start doing that. They talk about 5 differences. Okay, let's find some more. Let's look some more closely. 8 differences. Okay, let's find some more. So what you're telling them, the message that you are putting across to them is that if you look closely, you will be able to see what the differences are. And the same thing, like I said, from the concrete here, where you're getting them to do the spot the differences, it moves to the URLs. So how do you look at a URL and you can say whether this is a correct site or it is a wrong site? So there is a worksheet or a handout for that. This one here, where it's, you see usatoday.com. Is that real or is it fake? There is abcnews.com.co. You think that is real or is it fake? So you can get the children to reason out as to why they think this is real or why do they think this is fake. Washington Post, written very well, but there's a Q instead of washing. So you can get the children to understand that there are these small tiny mistakes in the URL which can tell them whether this is a right website or not. So how do you spot them? Most of us, just type in and go in for research, and we go on to the first research result we get. So children should be made aware of, the secure sites, the HTTPS, the lock sign. So all of these will make sure that the websites where they're going on are real and authentic. So getting them to understand, it's a very simple worksheet, but very powerful, and gets to a lot of discussions in the class. So this is about the various activities for getting the children to understand how a scam is done and how you can search. So if you were a search engine and you give them a topic and you tell them find an image, map, or a video for this topic, you will see that every person will have a different search. They will have a different website they have looked at. So what is the general conclusion of this is that there is so much out there in the internet, and if we have a certain keyword, we can go. So if I search for pizza, there will be so many of them. If I say pizza with pepperoni or with corn, there will be, it will get limited. So how do we get the children to understand how can we practice internet search? What are the keywords? What should we be looking at? And what are the things that we have to stay out of? So how do we do that? How do you create your query, your search query? So all of that, all details are given to the children. So that is about practicing. And then there are lots and lots of handouts which you can give to the children and get them to think about, discuss the various scenarios. So that is there in the in Unit 2. And then there is the interlearn game again, which will gamify the entire experience for the children for this particular unit. As I told you, Unit 1, 2, 3, 4 has the interlearn game. The characters in the interlearn games are called internauts, and the children love to play with this and get associated with this. So you can get the children to do these games in their ICT period, or when they have time. You can also give them tickets for going into the ICT room in maybe break time when it's too hot outside, and children can do this in turns. They can go into the ICT room and do it, because it really helps with their understanding, and you will be able to know if they have understood the goals or the objectives for that particular unit. So we are moving on to Be Internet Strong. This entire unit can be done with one activity where you tell the children. So if I can go on to that page, let me come up to that page where there are do's and don'ts. So there are do's and don'ts for your making a password. So you can give them that handout. So this one here. So it is on page number 78. So you can give this to them where they talk about the do's and the don'ts, and then you tell them to create passwords. So they should be able to critique the passwords for each other to say, this is a strong password, this is a better one, you could have done this, or let them give suggestions to each other. And in the process, they will learn what makes a really good password. So this entire unit gets done by getting them to understand how important passwords are and what are the do's and don'ts when you're creating the password. So keep it to yourself. What is the privacy? What's security? All of those things are handled in there. And then, of course, as you can see, the lesson flow maintains its flow. There is a takeaway. So you can get them to understand that Passwords have to be kept private. So here again you have the interlink game which comes up very quickly about the password, and here you can see the discussion topics for this game are given as well. So who's an hacker, why is it important? So all the questions which are actually answered in the games are given here in the discussion topic. So after the children have played the games, you could have a small discussion with them as to what they've learned. So craft 3 practice password that pass the super strong test, and you can have a sort of a competition for this where who creates the strongest password. So this is something that finishes by just getting them to understand that how important privacy and security is. So I'm moving on to unit 4, where it talks about empathy, it talks about bullying, it talks about how you can show kindness to the world, and how you can change things from a negative perspective to a positive perspective. And here I would like to point out that when we are talking about the social emotional learning, you can see it just flows through almost all the lessons that we are doing in this unit. You get the children to understand that internet is something which does things very quickly, right? The messages. If I had in when I was young, if I had gone on a holiday, I had to wait till the next day to tell my friends that I had been on a holiday. And if it was a weekend, I had to wait for 2 days to tell them that I had gone on a holiday. And in most times I didn't have pictures ready because the reel had gone for developing. But in today's world, because of the internet, if I've gone somewhere, I'm still at that place, and I can stream things into social media, and people can see where I am, and they can see what I'm doing in my holiday. So if I'm doing something nice on the internet, that just flows through, and positivity and kindness flows through. But if I'm doing something wrong, if I'm doing something negative, that also proliferates in the same way. So negativity will also spread, because internet will not have a bias between a kind thing or a nasty thing, right? It will just use its strength to spread. So what do you as children, what do you want to do? Do you want to practice positivity, or do you want to spread negativity around you? Here you can link this to your digital footprint, which we discussed in unit 1, and tell them that if you are being positive, you're writing good things, you are creative, and everything, when it gets aggregated for your name, it will show nice things. If you are doing negative things will show up. So that's the entire thing about this unit, unit 4. It's cool to be kind. It talks about bullying, it talks about disengaging, it talks about that it's okay to move away from a confrontation. So, and if somebody is being bullied, how do you support that person? So from a bystander, how do you become that helper? So that is, again, the scenario comes up, you have the activities which come up, and the takeaway, and here you can choose according to the age of your children in your class. So here, noticing feelings, again, this has got no technology, this is normal classroom school behavior. So it works in the same theme. It tells you about what is happening around you, and then slowly and gradually it takes you towards the internet. So here we are just having conversations, and you can talk about feelings, what you're feeling when that conversation happens, and how do you practice empathy, how do you practice empathy with people when they are online, why is it important to practice empathy. So all those become your goals for these lessons. And here you get the children to talk to each other, you get them to pair share. You can get an activity done wherein children talk to each other, and then they present to the class what their perspectives are. So there are various scenarios here. Again, like I said, you can choose the ones which you want for your own class, and it goes on with various empathy in school. Here it talks about, there's a person who's not feeling too well. She's sitting on her own and others are all playing. So what would be your decision on that? What would you do? So here, there's a lunchbox which is all fallen down and this person is probably crying. So what would you do? So here again, you are arousing the empathy of the children in your class. So how do you get them to do their kindness gram? Like you have a pictogram. How do you get children to understand that? So you can get them to show them these scenarios and say, I will show kindness to whom are you going to show this kindness to, and how are you going to show this kindness? So for the little ones, you can use these templates because they need these kind of prompts to be able to do things. And I will do the kind thing in like where. So you look at the scenario, the lunch room or the soccer practice or the digital game that I'm playing with. So here you will see that the children will start talking about the various things that they have been going through. So if there is, somebody who has seen a sad child or has seen a child who was crying, or somebody's mother's ill or something, they will start recollecting that and they will put it on paper here to say that this is the person I want to show kindness to. This is how I'm going to show my kindness and where I'm going to show the kindness. Maybe in class when the child is feeling really low or whatever. So what you're doing here is you're getting them to show empathy first in the class with the classroom scenarios, and then you will take them online. So that is how the entire curriculum is set. It gets you to feel. So there is concrete way of showing kindness, and then it takes you to the online game. It takes you to the several friends are making fun in a private group chat. What will you do? So from the the various things that you're doing in life, it slowly takes you to the online space. So that is how it happens. Here also it talks about negative to nice, and here it talks about your tone. So I want to show you these examples where how it makes a difference about what you are writing. So here there are comic strips which you can use with the children. So you can see here that there's a heart here, there's an angry emoticon here, there's a heart here, and there's a heart all around. So what do they want to write? I want to show you these. So here there is the same picture and somebody is written awesome there, and the same picture and somebody is written show off. How just writing a few phrases or a few words change the entire scenario for the people who are actually watching or receiving these comments. The same picture, and see how powerful this is. So the same way, same words about awesome and show off. So you can choose which picture you want to show, and you talk about that. It's how perceptions change when the wordings of these images change. So do you want to be the person who writes awesome for this picture, or do you want to be nasty and unkind and you want to write show off? So what is that? What is the choice that you're going to make? So there are lots of things here which you can choose. They make sure in the curriculum that you have ample choices and you can create a learning situation in your class with your children related to what you think is right for them. Here again, end of the topic, it comes on to the gamification. You can use this on a desktop or a mobile device. If you think that the children will not have time to do this, you can also send it home and they can play in their parents' mobiles or their home desktops, and you can ask them to give you the certificates for this, and you will know that they have understood the unit. The last unit is again about when in doubt, talk it about. So this is about being brave. And here it talks about, involving the adult. So whether it is the parent in the house or a teacher in school, how they can catch hold of somebody who's a responsible adult if they feel that they have some doubt which is not clear in their mind. So what it means to be brave, from becoming bystanders to helpers. Helpers have options. So what do you mean? What do you do about mean stuff on screen? So all these units reported online too. So now also when you're talking about privacy settings, you know that children are told that even on Facebook, that there are things and there are ways for you to report if there is something which is nasty. So get them to understand that, especially the children who are in 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, they do have their own Facebook accounts, even though the age doesn't allow them, but it's a fact that they do. So make sure that they are, if they are online, they are actually warned of the entire situation. So this entire unit talks about being brave, and there are, in the same way, there are activities for this, and there's summing up, there are takeaways for the entire unit, and it carries on. So you can see that the entire curriculum is split into 5 according to the themes. Each theme, each unit has certain goals. There are certain activities, there are talking points, there are scenarios that you can use, and you can choose out of here which ones you want to use with the children, and you can get them to do really understand what these topics are about. So the people who are actually implementing this program in their schools are they're picking and choosing the activities they want to do according to their class. So what we would suggest to you is, you can have a look at the student deck that we have created. But if you think that that's not going to work in your scenario, in your school, in your town, in your village, in your city, you can recreate that. But the basics of the units will, of course, stay the same. So once you have done that, once you have understood that, these are the units that need to be done, the 5 units which need to be covered, you can, like I said, change the scenarios and understand the various units that need to be done. And after you have done that, you will be able to certify yourself and your children. Before I go today, I'm going to repeat the steps for certification once again. So you will be attending the 2 webinars which you've done today. So you attended one on Wednesday and one today. So you've done with the 2 CBSE webinars that Mahattattva has conducted for you. So those are done. There will be subsequent follow-up sessions. So if you think that you still have questions, you can write to us, or you can come to any one of these Q&A sessions. You will be getting messages for that in the various groups. So the WhatsApp groups, the Telegram groups, the Google groups, you will get message and the link to join these. These will be one-to-one sessions. One-to-one as in, here I am speaking to you and you are just listening. In these optional Q&A sessions, you will be able to unmute, because it will be a Google Meet session, and you will be able to ask us questions. So that's a more intimate way of talking to us and understanding your problems. We will be able to help you with that. After you've done that, you read the resources which are given on the website. We will also be providing the student deck to you to create, to conduct this session in your classrooms. You will be able to then take this deck and train at least 40 to 45 children to understand what these 5 units are. And if you are a star or a superstar, you can train more than a class as well. That's entirely up to you, but you need a minimum of 40 children to be able to get certified. Then you create a evidence video for us. This can be, initially we had said video, but now we are saying you can send us 10 photographs. You can send a PowerPoint presentation with all the pictures on it, and you can load that onto the website. I will, once you've done that, you submit your application with your name and your students' names, and you will be certified very quickly. I also want to show you where the form is. So in my the Be Internet Awesome website that has been created just for this program, I've gone on to assessments, and right at the bottom is the student training completion form. So I click on that. That is where I have to fill up my details. So my email, my name of the school, state, my COE, my contact number, my personal ID. If you have a CBSE ID, please put that in. It's really important that you understand that all these programs which are conducted by CBSE, it's nice to identify with your CBSE ID as well. So please put that on. Here you can add the video, the presentation, or the images. You can upload them here. You just click on add file. It will give you a box to upload them, and you can add them here. You have to put in the list of students whom you have trained, because each child will get a certificate as well. You have to write the number of children that you have certified. This is a template. If you want to use a template for the children, you must use this template, because this will give us, it will ask you to make a copy. This will give us the name of the children. So you can just write the name of the children here, download this, go to file and say download as Excel. Once it's downloaded in your system, you just have to go and add the file here. Once you have done adding the file of your evidence, adding the file consisting of the list of the students' names, you have to give us a photograph for social media. Like I showed you the other day, we are celebrating people from schools, and they are like from all the various parts of India. We are celebrating you as Be Internet Awesome ambassador. We are very proud of you, and we are so I would say amazingly satisfied with the fact that there are teachers out there, teachers and teachers and teachers, more than 500 teachers now who have already got certified. Some of them are in the process. I do understand you are in the middle of exams very soon, but we are letting you do this till the end of September. So you can work on this, and end of September, you can submit your entries with the 40 children, and we will be able to celebrate your learning as well. So with that, and the form, description of the form and the program, I would like to end today's session, and thank you all for being a part of this cohort, and we look forward to a lot of certifications from this cohort as well. So do join in the various support channels which have been assigned to you. If you have a problem, please call out. There are numbers on the website you can get in touch with. There is an email as well, and we are there. There's an entire team there at Mahattattva to support you. Have a lovely evening, and all the very best for conducting this program as an ambassador in your own school. Bye-bye.